Good morning.
Morning, guys. Welcome to WRMA Live. I think we're on, what, 203? That's pretty awesome.
Got it. Pretty.
There's some math involved
I'm not
there.
there yet.
She's like, I need to make sure we're being listened to.
I know.
The mic's working, right?
Those shows were live, so we're live.
We're live at least. I hope you can hear us. Oh, man. I don't know about you, but yesterday's rain was just delightful. And then it's been kind of, I'm going to call it brisk. Very brisk this morning, which has been kind of a nice change of pace from all that heat. She does not do cold. I do spring and fall now. Summer, I'm more adapted to. Winter tries to kill me. I'm cold all the time. It's just how it is.
We're
Goodness.
here. Somebody comment if you can hear us. Ooh, that's one way to do it, right? Comment.
But,
So, just so y'all know, Western Days in September.
oh, yeah, Western Days in September. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with the Paseo District, they do a First Friday where you can just kind of go around and check the shops and exhibits, and sometimes they have snacks and trinkets and musicians and busking on the streets. It's kind of a fun thing. But there's just a lot going on. It's still a seller's market. But at the exact same time, why should you use a realtor for buying?
Because I hate paperwork. And it's my job. No,
It is
I don't
our
mind
job.
paperwork, but
I like paperwork. But the bigger thing is,
I don't like paperwork I don't understand. That's for sure.
the reason, in my bias, you should get a realtor is because we've been through it a ton. We understand how long the inspection window is, that you can change it depending on where it is in the contract. The contract, there's a blank literally in the contract saying defaults to 7 days if left blank. So you can either put in more or you can say none because I'm buying it in less than a week because it's from my cousin.
And again, it's a lot of verbiage shoved in there. Mm-hmm. And we understand the grassroots of it, so we can explain it in layman terms, as to put it. Because when I go talk to the lender, sometimes I'm going, okay, hold up. Now explain that in layman terms for me so I understand. I don't speak lender. Not that level of lender.
We speak enough to help translate between lender and client and the title company and client. And sometimes, like if there's an estate involved, enough to kind of talk to an estate attorney, title company, and kind of help keep that running smooth and take that weight off of the buyer to try and get that situated and smoothed out.
And we understand how it works here in Oklahoma. It might be different in New York,
Ohio,
New Jersey, California,
Canada,
Texas, Mississippi,
Mexico.
Illinois,
all over
Florida,
the place.
wherever. Not every place you buy a house is the same. I have a deal I was working, and the buying agent told me buyer asked why we weren't using a lawyer to close. Because where he was from, that's how they close on real estate. So she had to explain to him that title companies do it, and title companies have their attorneys.
We just leave it in the hat of the title company because they do have attorneys that do that. It's part of their job, at least for the state of Oklahoma. But if you're not from around here, you won't know that.
Right. So everything is different using us. We understand this. We do this daily. It's easier for us to help you than you go in blind, not understanding contracts, not understanding your negotiation power maybe, or where you need to not feel like, oh, I'm going to do this and that might not be a good deal. We got to look at it
Correct.
right in the middle. We're trying to make both sides happy, but mainly you, our buyer.
Our job is to match make and make it work and make it as smooth as possible, and also be educated and informed that if certain things happen, we know who to call. There's this little soft spot in the wall. We have inspectors that can scan for mold if the buyer wants to.
Right.
For all I know, the buyer's going to tear down the house anyways. They don't care. It's not our call. It's we talk to you, say, this has been discovered. What do you want to do? Here are options that other people have done in the past. Things that you may not have realized were an option.
And you might not understand, looking at a house, that there's minimum loan requirements if you're doing a loan.
Yep.
We can look at something and be like, hey, unless they're willing to fix this big thing, more than likely, that's not going to pass. And if they're not willing to fix it, you're out appraisal fee, you're out inspection fees, termite fee, whatever you've already had done, and you don't get that back if you walk.
There's a lot of prep work and training that a realtor can help you get ready for. Okay, we're going to start looking for houses now that you have your pre-approval letter. We know that you have to go FHA, so we're trying to avoid things that say as is. We can take a look at them and see if it's minor enough stuff, but most likely that's not. There's a number of things we're going to go over with you based on your loan type, and sometimes we'll even call your lender and be like, yeah, they're looking at trailers. Does your mortgage house actually allow trailers? If so, what are the rules?
Because there are limitations on
Yes.
that. You know, some have to be double-wide. They have to be tied down a certain way. They have to be
Certain
no longer
footing.
than so many years old. I mean, there's
Can't be
lots
so
of
long,
things
can't be so old.
you guys might not understand that we're familiar with. So
We've
it
been
will
around the
help.
block a time or two.
It'll help.
And even if you get for instance, if your niece became a realtor and you want her to help you if you're buying a house, if she's got a good brokerage, her broker or their trainer or both will help that person learn, and they'll have, if not in their pocket yet, they'll have someone that they can reach out to and get that information from. So don't just be nervous about using any realtor because they might be green. If they got a good brokerage under them, we're here to help. I've been doing this for, 10 years-ish? And a lot of that was distressed properties, and we've been through so many unique situations and learning curves, and it's nice to tap into that.
Most of the normal
normal stuff
doesn't fall into that. So
correct.
What she's trying to say is we have a pretty good idea when you're looking to buy, if you're FHA, VA, USDA, cash, conventional, whatever, we can help you.
We have the knowledge to tap into it, whether us directly or our broker or other people in our office. It's a wealth of information. And when a good realtor has no problem calling your lender and going, okay, I know this is a USDA loan. Do you still, I can't find the link to which houses qualify for the rural development loan.
You go to the USDA website and you search their map.
Yeah, but if you can't find it, I know, call the lender, because for all we know, they have a modified map.
But there is occasion where there's sometimes where it's right in an area where you're like, ooh, that's really close on the map. So then you can call the lender, hey, can you double check this for me? We're interested.
Can you reach out to USDA and see if it's close enough?
Or it's on that funny line and half of the property is and half of the property isn't because it's 20 acres or something like that. And you're going,
same with flood insurance.
Are we not good?
Some won't require flood insurance if it's only in the back, like half acre, and it's X amount of feet from the house. Some, even if it's just a corner, you have to have flood insurance. And that's where an experienced realtor can be like, this showed up in the floodplain. Let's call your lender and see what the restrictions are on this so you can be better prepared.
Pretty much use a professional. That's what we are. I wouldn't pull my own tooth per se. I'd use a dentist.
That'd be dreadful.
I don't fix my own. Well, I do to a point, but the technology has changed a lot. So I usually take my car to a mechanic because they're certified. They're professional. So,
I might be able to change a flat, but I can't do the computer in a car.
Right. So the point is, use a professional. See the value in using a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're unsure about it, I can do this on my own, or the selling agent said she could do both sides. Consult someone first on your behalf before you do that.
Second opinions, third opinions are always advised. It's very rare that you really shouldn't do that. I can't think of a situation. But getting a second opinion, because she can, does not mean it's in the best interest of you.
If you do decide to go on your own, no matter what the contract is, read it.
Read all of it.
Read it. Don't just take a word. Don't summarize. Read it, because right then and there, you are your own representation. So do your due diligence.
Yep. And if I have one wacky story. The rose bush. No, butterflies on the fence. Fortunately, there were realtors involved that were able to explain the contract to go, look, the butterflies are not attached per the contract. If it is attached to the property, it's supposed to stay. They had decorative butterflies on the fence.
So this hanging on the nail, hanging on a wall, this is not attached, the nail is.
So the nail would stay.
Put through said item attached to the wall, therefore it is attached.
And so we debunk that by going, look, here's the butterfly. It hangs on the nail on the fence. Therefore, it is not attached. And it resolved it per the contract. Otherwise, they might, if the realtors weren't involved, imagine the attorney argument. The butterflies would stay. It'd be ridiculous. While someone has experience in the field and familiar with the contract can go, look, it says attached. This does not meet the definition of attachment per the contract you signed.
So if you wanted it to stay, that would have to be on a separate piece of paper agreed upon.
We can even do an addendum saying, hey, butterfly stay. You can ask for that.
That's a fancy word for separate piece of paper that's attached to the contract.
Yep. And if you didn't know that, you can ask for televisions to stay. You can ask for furniture to stay, depending on your loan and a number of other variables. But a lot of quirky things. One person wanted to reserve a rose bush because they loved it so much that when they bought the house, they wanted it to stay.
I had someone that wanted a custom table, but it was awesome and fit the room perfectly.
There's so many things that if you aren't familiar with it, you might miss out on. And so if you're getting anywhere near buying a house, or heck, if you're thinking about buying a house in the next couple years, get with a realtor because there's some prep work that comes into it, like getting with a lender.
Saving money. Working on your credit score.
How much money should you be setting aside for earnest money? How much should you be setting aside for inspection, appraisal, down payment? Now, some of that...
Moving costs.
A good chunk of that is going to be involving a lender. But we can help with the moving costs. We can help with understanding the scope of things and being like, that's a lender question. Because some things you might think a lender would answer and you talk to us and go, oh, that would be this. Or vice versa. You talk to us and go, that is very specific to your loan type. Let's talk to your lender. But you don't know, just talk to us. We're supposed to be the middle guy to help make it as easy as possible for you to go through this process. I am so glad it's Friday.
Questions asked.
Questions, comments, emails.
Whatever. Tell us to shut up. Whatever. Just
don't ask me to tap dance. I'm a dreadful dancer.
Just talk.
Just talk.
Ask questions, whether it's with us or somebody else. Just do your research. Ask questions. Talk to someone. And then make your decision.
In the meantime, we are WRME Live, where we do real life, real world real estate.